With this video, we are halfway through VEDIM. The sun is going to be in and out, but we're just gonna deal with it. Today, I'm gonna talk about aro stuff. And by aro, I mean aromantic. Aromantic, aromantic, aro. And before someone makes that hilarious joke in the comments about being aromatic or smelling good, no, we are talking about the lack of romantic attraction to people. I know I've mentioned being arospec on this channel before, but I've never actually done a proper video on it or really explained how I came to figure out that I was aromantic. So I'm gonna do that, and hopefully it's helpful to other people. I've always considered myself a hopeless romantic. Like, this has been a thing for as long as I can remember. In like kids movies, I would be so about the romantic plotline, which now I'm more like, romance is not necessary in films. There doesn't have to be a romantic couple all of the time, but I was so into it. The cute, like super sickly sweet romances, those were my thing. I loved it. When I was younger, I used to read a lot of those absolutely terrible young adult, like, romance novels. And I don't mean romance novels like the adult romance novels. I accidentally read a couple of those and I was just like, no, no. That was me being asexual. But yeah, I was always totally down with romance. I really wanted a boyfriend once I got older. The only part I was like hesitant about at all was marriage, and not because marriage is a really strange institution, which it is, but because of like the wedding night thing. Like, I really didn't want to consummate my marriage. That just, I was like, nope, nope. That was also me being asexual. And of course that's not really something people talk about, but it's ingrained in our culture from a very young age. Like, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby in the baby carriage. Like, that's right there. Like, love to marriage to baby. That's just the progression. And that's the storyline for everything. That's how it happens. So when I figured out that I was asexual in my senior year of high school, a lot of things made a lot more sense. That was very clear. That was very much like a, yes, that is what I am, sort of a realization. But figuring out my romantic orientation was a lot more difficult. When I was looking into asexuality things, I figured out that aromanticism was a thing, and I wasn't sure about it, because I was a hopeless romantic, and I was totally about having romantic relationships, so I was like, that can't be right. And I looked into it more because that's the sort of thing that I do when there's like an identity term that I'm like, that could be me, but I don't really know. I just researched the heck out of it. So I did that, and my conclusion was that it was too confusing, and so I just kind of pushed it aside for a little while. I was like, nah, we're just not gonna think about it. I'm ace, and I don't have any prospects of having a romantic relationship anytime in the near future, so just ignore it, and it'll go away. But it didn't go away. So after a couple of months, I decided to identify as WTF romantic, because that acronym, or initialism, perfectly described how I felt about my romantic orientation. And I stuck with that for about 3 years. I just was very confused and didn't really feel like looking into it anymore. I figured if I ever did get a boyfriend, I would figure it out then. And I didn't. So I didn't. But about a year ago, I was like, you know what, it's time. You know, even if I don't have a boyfriend, I want to figure this out. I'm an adult. I need to figure out who I am. Which isn't a thing. You don't have to figure out who you are. You don't have to settle on labels. This was just me personally. It was bugging me, so I decided to. I knew I wasn't 100% aromantic because it didn't click like asexuality did. When I figured out I was asexual, I was like, yes, this is me. I have never once in my life experienced sexual attraction. But with romantic attraction, I'm just like, do I? Did I? And I know some people who do feel like this just settle on gray romantic because it's like, well, I'm kind of aromantic, kind of not. I'm in the middle. It's a gray area. Gray romantic. It's a nice term. I appreciate that. But I don't like being in a gray area. I like to have things clearly defined. So I like searched the internet, and in the like 3 years that I had just pushed aside the issue, more people came up with terms. So that was great. That's a thing that people are doing all the time, which is excellent, because if you can find a label that fits with you and you enjoy having a label for that, go for it. I don't see a problem. So I found this term called VEDIM romantic. which Mari says just is like demi-romantic but flipped around. Okay. And that's a lot like WTF romantic or qua romantic, in that you don't know exactly like the difference between romantic attraction and platonic attraction. You can't really differentiate between those two. And like maybe there are certain things about the attraction or like the feelings you can have for a person that allows you to separate them into those categories, but like inherently, who knows? Which fit really well with me. That's probably why, although QP partners can definitely like have a very intimate relationship and kiss each other and stuff, I would never be interested in kissing Mari, because I view that as a very romantic gesture. And it's not just kissing, there are a lot of different things that I view as like very romantic things, and I only feel them towards certain people who I have romantic feelings for. Like singing love songs to them. I was always, okay, part of the hopeless romantic thing, right? I've always been interested in having a boyfriend who would like sing duets from Disney songs with me. And as I've grown older, that's just expanded to cute songs from musicals. So these days I just call myself a hopeless aromantic because I'm aro and hopeless. Anyway, as far as labels go, I don't really call myself item romantic just because I don't really know what it means. I think it could apply to me, but like also no one else knows what it means. I'm qua romantic. I really like going with that one because I do somewhat speak French, and so it makes sense to me. It's basically just saying like what romantic, and my romantic orientation is very much what, so it works. And just a weird thing about romantic orientation is like I'm very gay. So how can I be really gay and also aro? But I do have romantic feelings, I'm just not necessarily romantically attracted to people. The way I look at it is it's very similar to asexuality. Not that, you know, ace people have to be aro or vice versa, but that people can be ace and like still have sexual feelings and still want to have sex. That's a thing. So it should be totally normal for me to be aro and have romantic feelings and want to have romance. So that's that. That is my story of aro questioning. Leave a comment below letting me know how you identify. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I've been having people give me thumbs down for some reason that I don't know, so if you wanna, you know, leave me a thumbs up, that would be cool. And, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Happy VEDIM.